Free agency has been a drag for the Sixers thus far, but there is one player remaining out there who I think could be a perfect fit for this team. We'll break it all down here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe, and as always, ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. We constantly keep you up to date with all the news going on. And today we are back talking about another potential free agent. I know the Sixers really haven't done that much other than sign centers and obviously Pat Bev, etc., bring Paul Reed back, but there are still a couple options out there. One in particular named Kelly Oubre Jr., who I've heard a lot about the last couple weeks. And today we're going to talk about why this fit makes way too much sense for the Sixers. But I want to know from the people down below in the comments, do you think the Sixers are going to sign anybody else? How will this Harden situation resolve itself? Will it resolve by training camp? We have to wait and see. Right now, we're kind of in that state where it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. They can't really do much without knowing the outcome of that situation. But this player right here just makes way too much sense. So we will break it down. But before we do so, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Manta Sleep. All my insomniacs out there need to check out the Manta Sleep Mask Pro. If your mind's wandering all different directions at night, maybe your phone keeps buzzing, or maybe you're even trying to take a nap during the day and the light is peeking in from your windows, this product right here will solve your issues. It has true 100% blackout for deep sleep, C-shaped eye cups for unbeatable side sleep comfort, and it puts zero pressure on your eyelids, so you can sleep on your back, your stomach, your side. It doesn't matter. Just slip this product on, very lightweight, very breathable, and it'll help resolve some of your sleeping issues, man. It just blacks everything out. I've used it myself, and it's a fantastic product that, again, has unmatched breathability and just great ventilation overall. Well-built product, in my opinion. So all my insomniacs out there who may be wondering what the Sixers are going to do, it's keeping you up at night, go down to the description, click the link, go to mantasleep.com, and use promo code PhillyTake to get 10% off of your order. All right, let's jump into it, man. So I put this tweet out about a week ago, and I said that I expect the Sixers to either bring back Danny Green or go sign Kelly Oubre Jr., and I do think the fit makes a ton of sense and would desperately help address the need of this team right now. The need is that they have no wing depth. They don't have any wings, and right now their forward depth chart is not looking too hot. All right, it's not looking too hot. Let's just be honest about it. And even a guy off the bench like George Niang, who was a power forward who could knock down shots, who wasn't afraid to take the big shot. Everybody complained about George Niang, but he's better than what the Sixers brought in right now. So I hope they have a plan to address some of these needs. But I put this tweet out, of course, in Sixer fan nature sometimes. They want all the answers. They want all the solutions, but you propose a certain player idea, they don't like it. Now, the only reason I threw in Danny Green here is because I know he's available. He would probably be attainable on a minimum, and he has experience, and he has, kind of a home here in Philadelphia from the couple years he played here. And even though he had started out those seasons not effective, he ended up playing pretty well. And if he didn't get injured in that Hawks series, who knows what happens? He could have made an impact, but unfortunately it didn't end well for Danny Green. However, again, a high quality vet, high IQ, good locker room guy. And also, in addition to the Sixers, he has experience with Nick Nurse. By the way, he was on that championship team. So, if Danny Green was ever available, maybe it's a guy you potentially look into as a last resort. But Kelly Oubre Jr., in my opinion, makes way too much sense. And I think a lot of Sixers fans are in agreement. I think the consensus is this guy would be perfect on the Sixers. I don't know why he hasn't been signed. I was listening to a podcast with Jake Fisher where he said that, the market is not really there for Kelly Oubre. He talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers, actually. He said the Cavs had some, valuable interest in Kelly Oubre. Like, they were really looking into him, and then they ended up signing Max Strus and George Niang. Maybe they got a better bargain there. I don't know what it is, but the way Kelly Oubre, has gone about this and the way Jake Fisher was talking, it almost seems like he might be had on a minimum at this point. I'm not going to say he will be. Right now the Hornets are, looking into options with Kelly Oubre and obviously PJ Washington, who might, eventually be signed and traded. Who knows how that's going to play out, but Hornets have new ownership, and, they're looking to kind of change the landscape of that team. And Oubre probably just doesn't fit too much in terms of what they're trying to do. I think he would be valuable in a contender right now. And in that podcast that I was listening to, Jake Fisher, talked about a few different teams where he might fit. And he actually did mention the Sixers, given the fact, again, that they have no wing depth. So let's talk about Kelly Oubre Jr. and why I think he would be a good fit. Here are his stats from his career and most importantly last year. The main knock on his game last year, the main two knocks actually. Number one is that he was shooting too inefficiently. As you can see here, 7.4 field goals on about 17 shots per game. That was his career high in field goals attempted. And the other thing that people got on him about was the fact that he had more turnovers, 1.3 per game, more than assists, 1.1. Let's be honest, Kelly Oubre is not a facilitator. What Kelly Oubre would do, what he would do for the Sixers team is come in. He could be a spot up or a movement shooter. He could probably play a little bit with the ball if needed, but that's not what the Sixers need from their wings, from their depth pieces at the forward position, right? That's the problem right now, for example, with a guy like Tobias, right? He needs the ball in his hands, and the Sixers just don't have enough touches to go around when you have Maxey and Harden and Embiid, etc. So the Sixers need guys that can come in and, as simple as it sounds, spot up and shoot, knock down consistently, and defend, and maybe grab some rebounds here and there. When you look at Kelly Oubre, he's a guy that's going to probably reel in about 4 or 5 rebounds a game. He's a pesky defender. He's going to get up right in your face. He would absolutely improve the Sixers perimeter defense. Sometimes he looks a little bit, unfocused. I'm not going to say unmotivated, just a little bit, lacked of focus. But I'm going to attribute some of this to playing with the Charlotte Hornets. As crazy as it sounds, the Charlotte Hornets stink, right? And when you play on a team that stinks, sometimes you're just out there collecting the paycheck. Let's be honest, right? Kelly Oubre went from the Warriors, a much better culture, to the Charlotte Hornets. And it's not like he played bad. I mean, this past year, he did average 20 points per game, but again, it was on 17 shots per game, so not that efficient. But when you're on a team like the Hornets and everybody's looking around and nobody can really create and score, then you're relying on Kelly Oubre to be one of your primary options. Probably not the best idea. When he's chucking it up and sloppy and he's not looking that good, he's not hitting shots, it does get pretty ugly. But my point being is that the role with the Sixers would be so much different, where he would come in and just have to knock down some shots. And again, he would improve the defense. He's a scrappy player. He's a swagger type of player. I like how he goes about things. Obviously, he used to get over the top sometimes, but he's learned. He's gotten older. He's going to be 27 years old. He's not old by any means. And if this guy was to be had on, say, a minimum deal or something close to that, I think it would be a bargain for the Sixers. It makes way too much sense. When you look at the guys that are left available, Kelly Oubre is probably the best swing out there. And he's available to be had. And I'm sure his camp is probably talking to, different teams right now. But, again, the thing I like about Kelly Oubre is that he can be, sort of a movement shooter. And he can knock down shots. I know this last year, his percentage dropped down to about 32%. But if you look at the trajectory of his career, it's been up and down. I would probably expect him to be around that 34 to 35% mark, which is, almost average. And again, I think he would have better looks on the Sixers because, again, you're commanding respect down low with Joel Embiid, right? You have Maxey who can, turn up the tempo and speed up, speed down. And then you have, if James Harden comes back, obviously he's going to draw up a lot of looks for other guys. So, last year we had PJ Tucker who, got a lot of hate, but the thing that frustrated me most with PJ is that he would, pump fake in the corner. We called him pump fake PJ because he wouldn't take the shots. Kelly Oubre is not afraid to let it fly. He's similar to Niang. You give him the ball, he's going to try to make something happen. Again, when he gets over the top, it can get sloppy, but I don't see that role with the Philadelphia 76ers. I've heard other teams are interested in Oubre, maybe the Suns or the Mavericks, teams like that, where I also think he would make sense. So if the Sixers want to get this done, they need to prioritize a guy like Kelly Oubre Jr. I just think it makes a lot of sense. And, the Hornets are willing to let him walk. I'm surprised he's not signed yet. Like I said, I thought he would probably get somewhere in like the $8 to $10 million range. But at the current time, he still remains unsigned. Maybe teams are waiting, until, or maybe even Kelly Oubre is waiting until teams may get a little more, not desperate, but just willing to sign a player, maybe closer to training camp or closer to the season. But, this guy would be great. And he'll also bring, a little spark of athleticism once in a while. At the end of the day, I just think, you know, adding a wing like Kelly Oubre would make perfect sense for the Sixers at this point, based on where they're at, based on the limited options. You know, this is the guy that I think they should go out and get. So you give me your thoughts down below. What do you think about Kelly Oubre Jr. and his game? Would it fit in Philadelphia? Do you think he is still valuable at this point in his career? Do you think he's a feasible option for the Sixers in free agency? Give me all your thoughts down below. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.